This is a world gone mad. This is a world gone mad.
This is a world gone mad. I'm Jeff Allen Wolf. I give my commentary on national and world news and politics. Welcome to The Resistance. Episode 89, the one before this episode, was my longest one to date, so this episode is going to be one of the shorter ones. Here we go. Boasberg finds probable cause exists to hold Trump administration in contempt for violating orders on deportation flights. U.S. District Judge James Boasberg ruled Wednesday that probable cause exists to hold Trump's administration officials in criminal contempt for violating his orders in mid-March, halting the use of the Alien Enemies Act to deport alleged Venezuelan gang members. Now, the long-awaited decision on Wednesday from a judge President Donald Trump and his allies have repeatedly attacked puts the administration on the path toward being punished for thwarting court orders. The situation has been a major political and legal flashpoint for the Trump White House in its efforts to carry out a historic deportation campaign, especially in mid-March when it sent 3 planes of migrants to a prison in El Salvador. That same day, Boasberg held an emergency hearing, told the administration to pause the migrant removals, ordered the return of deportation flights back to the U.S. The court ultimately determines that the government's actions on that day demonstrate a willful disregard for the court's order, sufficient for the court to conclude that probable cause exists to find the government in criminal contempt. Boasberg wrote in a 46-page ruling Wednesday detailing his decision. Now, the court does not reach such conclusion lightly or hastily. Indeed, it has given defendants ample opportunity to rectify or explain their actions, he added. None of their responses have been satisfactory, Boasberg said. CNN legal analyst Steve Vladek said these moves are rare. Holding federal executive branch officials in criminal contempt is just about unheard of. Once in a blue moon, said Vladek, a professor at the University of Georgetown School of Law. Part of why Chief Judge Boasberg is moving cautiously is because he's trying to walk a tightrope, not letting the government off the hook for its misbehavior, but also not provoking pushback from either the D.C. Circuit or the Supreme Court. Sky Perryman, an attorney with Democracy Forward, which along with the ACLU brought the case before Boasberg, said Wednesday's ruling affirms what we have known all along. The government's conduct in this case is unlawful and a threat to people and our Constitution. Boasberg, who is the chief judge of the federal trial level court in D.C., outlined the next steps in the contempt proceeding, since it is not proven yet beyond a reasonable doubt that the administration committed criminal contempt. Boasberg says he wants sworn statements first from people who can attest to the officials making the decisions not to turn the planes around as they carried migrants to El Salvador on March 15th. Then Boasberg says if those statements aren't satisfactory to him, he will ask for live witnesses to testify at hearings or depositions. The judge could then, he says, ask the Justice Department to prosecute Trump administration officials, or he could appoint an attorney as a special prosecutor. You know, I hear this story and I'm holding out hope that again the last remaining checks and balances against Donald Trump are still the courts. I cannot emphasize this point enough. The courts are our last hope for we, the people of America, holding Trump accountable. And then, of course, the monkey wrench in all of this is the Supreme Court, who could totally wussy out and side with Donald Trump. This is the linchpin I'm looking for. Will the courts finally do their job to stop Donald Trump's illegal actions? The following news story has been happening more and more lately. Tempers flare as few Republicans hold in-person town halls. Republicans faced frustrated constituents at town hall meetings Tuesday. offering a glimpse at the building anger over Donald Trump's sweeping overhaul of the federal government among portions of the electorate. And in the face of it, the deference that GOP lawmakers continue to show the president. In Iowa, Senator Chuck Grassley was repeatedly urged to stand up to Trump and push back against the executive branch. We would like to know what you, as the people of the Congress who are supposed to rein in this dictator, what are you going to do about it? One man asked Grassley. And in Georgia, Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, highly scripted event marked a dramatic departure from the town hall held by the Senate's most senior Republican. Instead of taking questions face to face, the far-right Trump ally mocked the critical questions she received, which she had required to be submitted in writing ahead of time. Asked by a questionnaire why she was supporting tech billionaire Elon Musk and the Department of Government Efficiency's slashing of Medicaid, Social Security offices, and libraries, Greene responded, "Unfortunately, you're being brainwashed by the news that you're watching." Members of Congress are at home for a 2-week recess, and in the opening days of lawmakers' break from Washington, many in the GOP have so far heeded the advice of party leadership and declined to hold in-person meetings. But on Tuesday, both Grassley, the 8th-term senator, and Greene, the firebrand Trump loyalist, held public events. Though weeks removed from eruptions of anger at town halls earlier this year, the lawmakers at times faced similar ire over the Trump administration's efforts to slash spending and shrink the federal workplace, as well as tough questions over its hard-line immigration policy and the bounds of the president's power. Greene, attempting to head off protests, opened by telling attendees she was holding a town hall, not a political rally. But she avoided town hall's hallmark direct engagement with constituents, instead delivering lines reminiscent of political rallies. Greene started her event with a video featuring former President Barack Obama touting cuts to wasteful government spending. She said Obama's message is exactly what you're hearing today from President Trump and Elon Musk. All of us together, no matter where we stand on the political spectrum, together we're in debt at $36 trillion, she said. Americans have been defrauded for decades. The Congresswoman claimed, without evidence, that dead people are receiving Social Security benefits. She touted her role chairing the House Oversight Committee's delivering on Government Efficiency Subcommittee. Greene displayed some critical questions on a projector screen, read them aloud. This is a great one. You got to pay attention to this one. In one instance, a woman had submitted a question to Greene asking whether the Congresswoman would push back against Trump's tariffs and his chainsaw approach to cutting spending. It was met with scattered applause from the audience. And what did Marjorie Taylor Loonball answer to the question from Christina? "Oh, poor Christina, poor Christina. I'm sure, Christina, you think you're pretty smart," Greene said, "but the reality is you are being completely brainwashed by whatever source of news you listen to." "What am I going to do?" "I'm going to stand by my president," Greene said. "I'm going to support my president, and I'm going to fight for his agenda with everything I have in Congress," she said. Greene was interrupted several times by protesters, but was dismissive and moved on quickly as local police escorted them from the room. "Protest is outside," Greene said. "Bye. Have fun out there," Greene told one person. Law enforcement officers arrested 3 people, removed them from the Ackworth Town Hall, and in 2 instances, Ready CNN crew witnessed officers using stun guns after physical scrums with male attendees as they tried to remove them from the building. "The Democrats have been rioting. They are the party of violence," Marjorie Taylor Loonball claimed, without offering specifics, after those protesters were removed. You know, Marjorie Taylor Loonball, anytime I read or hear something that she said, I get so fucking disgusted. Pardon my language. I cannot stand this person. I cannot convey how much I dislike this person. The bullshit lies she says, the belittlement she gives to people talking to her, whether they be reporters or constituents, is abysmal. The discussion I have, the disgust rather I have for Loonball is almost as much as for Donald Delusional. And these people are in charge. And that's what's scary. And that's what continues to anger me. These contrived, staged town halls from Republicans are so wrong that there's no level of wrongness I can put into words to you, the Wolfpack listener. I will glide across the dance floor in sheer glee when Marjorie Taylor Loonball is finally one day, hopefully soon, removed from office. And finally, stepping away from the negative stories, and if you noticed in the last couple of episodes I'm doing that, I'm leaving you with a more positive, uplifting story at the end of the episode of the podcast, instead of all this non-stop hammer venom from Trump and allies. So here we go, stepping away again from negative. These are the things that we can't control, but I'm going to share this uplifting story with you. A rancher's dog in Arizona is being hailed as a hero after rescuing a local 2-year-old boy who had wandered nearly 7 miles away from home and spent the night in the desert. On Monday evening, Yavapai County Sheriff's Office got a report of the missing toddler, Bowden Allen, who was reported to have walked away from his home in the small town of Seligman, Arizona. The agency said in a Facebook post. Now, dressed in just a tank top and pajama pants, Allen spent some 16 hours, 2-year-old, 16 hours alone as he wandered, according to the sheriff's office. And the desert area he walked through had at least 2 mountain lion sightings that night. But at 9 a.m. local time, he was retrieved by a dog named Buford. Sheriff's Office spokesperson Paul Wick told NPR that Allen's parents were distraught at the boy's disappearance, and they shared a teary reunion at his return. In an interview with the Sheriff's Office, the rancher, Scotty Dundon, said, "I'd heard about the missing child before I was going to town, and when I was driving out the driveway, I noticed my dog was sitting down by the entrance. And I look up, and the little kid standing there with my dog." Dutton said he suspected the boy followed a power line down from his house and into his property, where Buford found him and brought him inside. "It was a relief that he was alive. I was ecstatic that he was okay and that my dog found him," Dutton said of the toddler. Buford is an Anatolian Pyrenees, which are noted for their size and tender nature. Now, the gentle dog giant guards around the house at night, Dutton says, protecting the property from threats of coyotes. Dutton told authorities that when he first got to the 2-year-old, the boy needed water and food to calm himself, before he explained that he had spent the night laying under a tree. Buford the dog loves kids. "I can imagine he wouldn't leave him if he found him," Dutton said, expressing bewilderment that the child had made it nearly 7 miles from home, all on his own. Allen, the boy, was in good health when he was found, with only a few cuts and scrapes, as well as being mildly dehydrated, according to Wick. Buford the dog, trying to lighten up stress in a world gone mad. And if you have any comments on today's episode, or any feedback at all, say hello. Take a minute out of your day to send me a text, an email, or voice message. Hey everyone, I'm not asking for a lot. You spend hours on social media. I'm asking for 1 minute of your time to please send me a comment. Would love to hear from more than just 2 listeners each week sending me comments about my podcast. You have the email. You have the phone number. You can reach me on Blue Sky. If you're not sure on my contact information, look at the bottom in the transcript or listen to a previous episode. I'll be back again in 2 days. This is A World Gone Mad. I'm Jeff Allen Wolf. Without your comments, your feedback, your engagement, I'm sitting in a room talking to myself. Hint, hint. Stay hopeful.